The Young and the Restless. Claire gets her promotion, Billy warns Jack, and Phyllis makes a desperate appeal to Kane. At Society, Diane and Jack are floored by Kyle's plan to propose to Claire. Irritated, their son asks why they don't want him to marry her. They warn this move seems a little reactive. It will seem like he's trying to distract Claire from their issues. Jack adds, it could come off a little manipulative. Would he be doing it if she hadn't found out about him kissing Audra? Kyle, now sporting full-on tunnel vision, argues that this has nothing to do with Audra. Gushing about Claire, he decides he's foolish for not proposing to her sooner. Jack and Diane urge him to wait. Kyle won't listen. He's meeting with a jeweler later. I'll keep you posted, he chirps as he exits. At that moment, Billy arrives, looking to discuss Kane. At the ranch, Claire asks Nikki how she's supposed to trust Kyle again after him lying to her. How is she supposed to process what she thought their relationship was, knowing what it is now? How can she do all of that and not break up with him? They debate as Nikki tries saying that Kyle just made a mistake and she understands him trying to protect her. Not knowing the truth is a deal breaker for Claire. Nikki urges her to take her time deciding. For the umpteenth time, Claire recaps that her life was all lies growing up. She doesn't want to question the person who loves her. If she forgives Kyle, she'll be giving him permission to do it again. Nikki admits she and Victor have been through a million conflicts, but she knows his heart. Claire promises not to make any snap decisions and switches gears to Nikki's big news. Nikki tells Claire it's time for her to climb the corporate ladder. She and Victor have decided to fold Newman Publishing into Chancellor. She'll take a junior position and will someday run the division, like her dad. Claire, clearly pleased, accepts. On the Kane train, he rolls his eyes when Phyllis strolls in. He tries to get rid of her to no avail. She announces that she's given him time to get over his gloom and doom and wants to hear that he's not killing the plan. He reiterates that it's done. He needs to focus on his family right now. Do you understand that? Phyllis takes this to mean that he's just putting the plan on hold for now. Phyllis asks if he plans to just sit on his hands until his family comes around. She understands the pain, shame, and regret. But it will kill you if you don't move on. Kane says his plan would require massive deception for personal gain, which is how he screwed up with his kids in the first place. He won't be doing that. More debate and arguing ensues as Phyllis tries desperately to convince Kane that his kids will respect him taking over everyone's companies. He needs her to move on. Tearing up, she cannot let the rug be pulled out from under her again. She says she's been doing a deep dive into the company's financials. This is big. She'll do the dirty work and he can keep his hands clean. You just have to tell me what you've planned, she coaxes. As his secret weapon, she will conquer the world. Amid some baseball analogies, Phyllis prods Kane to let her loose on the companies. She'll run the behemoth while he spends time with his kids. She needs to know his plan, however. You need to tell me your plan, Kane. You need to let me in. Kane promises to think it over as Amanda appears. Phyllis urges her to talk some sense into Kane. Amanda reports that moving their base from D.C. to Genoa City has been complicated. She agrees to have drinks soon with Phyllis, who leaves them to it. Amanda asks Kane if it's true he's backed off on the takeover. She supports him either way, but warns him about going after Winters, which won't impress his family. Kane lets her know that Phyllis and Billy are spreading the word about him backing off. While the spotlight's not on him, he'll make his move. One that no one will expect. At the Abbott mansion, Kyle thanks the jeweler after picking out an engagement ring and sees her out. Admiring the rock, he smiles with self-satisfaction. At Society, Billy tells Jack and Diane that he doesn't trust Kane, who has flipped the script. We're dealing with a whole new ballgame. Billy informs them that Kane claims to not be following through and is instead focusing on his kids. He doesn't believe him, but his plan to get on the inside is now DOA Diane leaves. And Jack tells Billy he knows he's disappointed. Billy doesn't think they can trust this turnaround by Kane. Jack grimaces when Billy tells him he's more determined to get Chancellor back than ever. He admits he would like nothing more than to see Victor get his, but Nikki feels she's honoring Catherine. He can't applaud him for cutting her off at the knees. Billy warns Jack not to get in his way. He doesn't want to have to plow him down to get back what he deserves. Diane runs into Nikki in the park and they butt heads about Victor hiring Audra to break up Kyle and Claire. Diane accuses the blonde of turning a blind eye to the viciousness of Victor's attack on Kyle. Nikki tells her to calm down. She doesn't want them split up any more than she does, but she warns Diane that Kyle will have to be delicate and patient. Kyle finds Claire in the patio of Crimson Lights and asks if she's still upset with him. She's confused. Kyle apologizes, noting this feels awful. He asks her out to dinner to talk through everything. Claire resists, but lets him talk her into having dinner with him at the Abbott mansion.